What is going on, crypto family? This is your boy Random Arts coming with a quick video. And on this video, guys, we're going to be talking about how to properly cash out your Roaring Kitty once you're up millions of dollars, guys. Again, this video has been requested by several different people within the community. They're like, yo, Random Arts, how should I cash out my roar whenever I'm up millions of dollars? How should I do it to not hurt the community and to being able to respect the community? And I said I was gonna make this video. And someone else just recently asked it again. And I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do this so that way, because we're approaching it. I mean, guys, we're approaching like huge parabolic run up. So hopefully, after I make this video, everybody who need to hear it. The next thing you know, it's time to be able to cash out for you guys. So hopefully that's my hope for you guys, that it comes to pass after I make this video here. But Roaring Kitty, as it currently stand right now, sitting at $13 million market cap. And if you guys have, like I've been stating, a million roar, um, at $4, that's $4 million. So if it's time for you to cash out that 4 million roar, these are the options that I've noticed that different whales were able to cash out. One is OTC, which means over the counter. So there's different firms that offer OTC. There's different exchanges that offer OTC. I'm not going to name anyone specifically due to the fact that the names, those they constantly change as far as like which one's good, which one's bad, etc., etc. So for that one, you're gonna have to really dig deep and do research. I think Winter, I say Winter Mute, or however you say it, I think they're pretty good. At least from what I see. Now, I never used an OTC. I'm just telling you guys what I've seen, so that's why I'm not really naming names. But OTC, that is one way. And the way that that would work is that there you would agree upon a strike price. Typically, it is going to be lower than what the market value is. So let's say Roar's at $4, and they're like, "Yo, we'll accept your 1 million Roar at the price of $3.75. I'm just throwing that out there. Um, and the reason why people would go with that versus like, heck, nah, the price at $4. Let me just go ahead and sell on the open market, because you're gonna be hit with price impact if you try to sell like on a DEX. Especially if you are well, like $4 million you're trying to sell on a DEX, you are gonna get hit with price impact. And by the time you finish selling, your average sell price might even be like somewhere around $1. So instead of making $4 million or $3.75 million, you're gonna just make $1 million. So you're leaving so much money on the table. So wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, you'll nuke the chart, but yeah, you're not making that much though, especially from what you could actually do. Because what's going to end up happening as soon as you nuke it, the chart's going to have a V-shaped recovery like it normally do, just giving people more opportunity just to being able to get at a extreme lower price. So that's the reason why nuking a chart is never recommended. The second option is CEX, or centralized listing. This one was very, very common, especially when it comes to Turbo. When Turbo had his big parabolic run up, it was getting listed on so many different exchanges. Now, I did hear different conflicting information when it comes to the person who created the contract for Turbo. They stated that, somebody said he stated that he cashed out like $50 million. I seen people say 100. I see somebody say 200. So just know it was a big amount. You know, they was able to cash that out during this nice run up right here, because what they were doing is, as soon as they were getting listed on these exchanges, it did a couple of different things. It provided volume, and it also provided a exit area for them to being able to exit out. Because if it's a tier one listing, they have deep liquidity, so they could absorb those sales that you're able to do. And that's exactly what ended up happening. And the same thing for Nero as well too. The people who was in Nero right here, they cashed out big, guys. I'm telling you, they made bank. Couple of millionaires, lots of millionaires were made in Nero, because this one was a sub $10 million market cap, and when it got listed on Binance, it went to, all the way to $1 billion market cap. So around this run up right here, it kept getting listed everywhere else. So with the listings, the big whales, they just started cashing out, you know, because they are able to absorb that. Um, and the last way is via volume. So if you're, you know, you hate CEXs, you don't want to put your token on a CEX to cash out, that's understandable. Then the only other option that you do have is to wait for high volume. So that part is going to require patience. You're going to have to be patient about it as far as just trying to be able to cash out. And the rule of thumb is you do not want to be 10% of the total volume of that day. Because what is going to end up happening if you're 10% of that total volume of that day, you're going to automatically stop the volume from coming in. And the way that you're going to stop the volume from coming in is that your sales is just going to discourage new buyers from coming in. What you want to see is you want to sell gradually to allow the chart to have an upward trend, because this is how traders tend to make their decision whether or not they're going to buy something, whether if it's uptrending or if it's downtrending. If it's downtrending, people are not going to want to buy it. So if you're nuking it, you're being more than 10% of the volume, 24-hour volume, then people are not going to buy it. They're going to wait till you sell out, and you're just going to be the only person just selling, 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 while no more volume is coming in. And the same thing that happened for Shiba Inu, when the COVID Relief Foundation, whenever they were selling, they didn't nuke, because they had to sell and they sold. And again, it took patience. They sold in a course of maybe about 4 or 5 months. They had to cash out, what was it, like 7 or 800 million dollars. So they had to sell that over the course of like 6, 7 months. Um, Due to the fact that that is a big, that's a lot. There was not 670, or 600, 700 million dollars in liquidity that they could have just, sold into. So they had to wait for volume. So as volume started coming in, they just started going, selling piece by piece by piece. And this is why you saw it for a while for Shiba Inu. It was in a consolidation because they kept selling. Anytime it had like some major pop, they'll sell into that. But they were not wrecking the charts, and that's why they allow people to still be in Sheeb, um, before it had this massive run up. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. If you have more questions about it, you guys already know I'm here for you, to be able to answer the question. This is what I was talking about right here. This consolidation part right here, it was just stuck on the channel. The reason why I was stuck on the channel is because the COVID Relief Foundation, they're the one who just kept selling. It pop sell, and they're just using the volume to their advantage to eventually they sold out. And next thing you know, Shiba Inu had this big parabolic move after they were gone. But yeah, guys, that is all that I have for you today. So leave a like, leave a comment. Random Mars guys signing off. Hey man, like we're going to billions, man. Guys, we are going to billions. And this is the one thing that I ask of you guys. After we go to billions, let me interview some of you guys. You don't even have to put your face up. I want to be able to interview you guys, get your mindset of how you found Roar, why you got into Roar, etc., etc. That's the only ask that I have of you guys. Once we get to the billions, I want to be able to do some interviews with some of you guys. But again, that is all that I have for you. Random Mars guys signing off. Peace!